like, we didn't think we were going to get to bed at all last night. We couldn't get them to stop talking and working on their ideas. So I think it speaks to the value of GIV and providing a forum for people who have a passion to come with other people who share that passion and spend a week really delving into it. These have been amazing conversations. We've had an incredible opportunity to meet a wide range of people that will support your young person in their entrepreneurial endeavors. So let's go ahead and get started, and I would like to welcome two members of our audience who were instrumental in getting GIV programs started. So if Steve and Ellen would come on down and talk about that experience.
Yeah, no worries.
We got it. Thank you.
I'll go first, make a couple of comments, then Ellen. I'm an old guy. I live in Maine. I was here in the 80s as what was called at that point the Commissioner of Education for the state of Vermont. And Ellen and I were co-conspirators in helping the institutes get started. I want to just say a couple of things. One is that these institutes are fundamentally important to me. It's one of the most important things I've done in my life. And one of the reasons is, I can give you some sampling from yesterday when we listened to some of the presentations and talked to some of the students. What I heard was very important in terms of an educational set of educational goals. One of the most important things is entrepreneurship is about meeting an unmet need. It's formulating an idea to meet an unmet need, but it can't be done by the individual alone. You need support from other people. And I was really impressed with the engagement of the students with each other in forming some form of collaboration to get something going. And I was also impressed with their ability to communicate, to ask questions, and to listen, and to test assumptions. All of those things are important in entrepreneurship. And we saw it yesterday, and it's something that's just fundamentally important in the education of young people.
Thank you, Steve. It's just wonderful to be here. And I'm very also moved to be here with my colleague, Steve Kagan, who is the former Commissioner of Education for the state of Vermont. And when I was the State Arts Council Director, we got together and Steve said, let's do something for kids. And out of that, Governors Institutes were born. In fact, the first Governors Institute happened about 5 months after we decided that we needed to do something that was in addition to and out of school that recognized people's potential, not necessarily rewarded them for demonstrated talents. It wasn't a gifted and talented program. It was a program to stimulate ideas and creativity and community, to take risks, to learn on your own and to learn with others. And my version of what Steve's just said is creativity is a group activity. And we all learn from each other. And because we learn from each other, we're also reaching higher and we're putting together ideas that never got put together before. And so we have a deep commitment to the Governors Institutes, all of them, a deep gratitude for all the people that make them work. And I'm only going to name two. Bonnie Reed Martin, who's sitting up there, who is former chairman of the board, and Sandy Gardner, a long-time friend of the Governors Institutes. But all of you, teachers and experts and RAs and students who came to the Governors Institute, we just want it to thrive and to persist. And that's why we're here, and we say thank you to all of you.
Thank you.
And thank you to Steve and Ellen and the rest of the people who put this together so we even have Governors Institutes, correct? Yeah. So one of the things that is very important is that we all have a chance to learn from people who have taken that risk to own and operate their own business. They saw a problem, they saw a solution, and they stepped out and they tried it. And we're going to start our program today hearing from someone who did just that, Liam Redmond. I'd love to turn it over to you to talk about your business and your experience, and I do have your slides.
Awesome. Yeah, great. Well, thanks for being here, everyone, and thanks for inviting me to speak today. Everybody in the back, can you hear me okay? All right, great.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so I'm a Vermont kid. I went to Essex High School, graduated in 2021, actually. My whole kind of life, I knew I wanted to be a doctor. I knew I was passionate about science. I knew I was passionate about healthcare. I didn't know what kind of medicine I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to be a doctor. So I set myself up for 4 years at Essex High School. I didn't take any courses, we had one financial literacy course. We were not lucky enough to go to CBU to have an entrepreneurship class. We had none of that. So I didn't really know anything about what building a business was. I knew I loved medicine, so I went kind of down that road. I knew I loved making things, but I didn't know how to apply that places. So anyways, fast forward, I'm graduating from Essex. I went to the University of Notre Dame out in South Bend, Indiana. I had to get away from Vermont for 4 years. And I went there and I got to school and I was a pre-med, science up the wazoo. And about a few days into my journey at Notre Dame, I stumbled into our Entrepreneurship Center. We have an idea center there, right? So I kind of stumbled in and I don't know how I stumbled in, but I was really fascinated by all the people in this big wide room, really mingling, talking about problems. They seem so much more passionate than the people at the medicine club, right? So I quickly kind of, wow, this is an energy I want to be a part of. How do I get engaged here? How do I get involved? And they said, well, start writing down problems, right? Start writing down in your little iPhone app, hey, what problems are you facing? Not how you solve them, but what keeps coming up time and time again. And one of the problems, my first few months at Notre Dame that kept coming up time and time again was rideshare. It was Uber. I was introduced to a platform called Uber, Lyft, all these other services that I hadn't used before, being an Essex kid just going back and forth to high school. And suddenly to get to downtown to South Bend, Indiana, I had to use a ride share. We had to call a ride from somebody. And what we kind of quickly realized was, wow, everybody's calling a ride at the same exact time, which is causing prices to surge, to spike. So we ended up paying anywhere from $20 to $40 about 3 miles down the road. So it was a huge financial pain point for us broke college students. So we decided to kind of, what's going on here? A couple of buddies and I. Why is this an issue? What was going on? So if I scroll down here, I like to just kind of tell the story of how we identified this problem in an industry that is so big, so wide. So I think it's helpful for anybody who's interested in entrepreneurship, how we kind of got to where we are today. And anyways, we dug into this big problem in which you see right here. So if you think about Uber or a rideshare, how it works is the more riders you have, the more drivers you have. The more drivers you have, the more coverage you have. The more coverage you have, the faster the ETAs, the faster the pickups are, the more riders you have, right? It's a flywheel, and it goes time and time again. And what Uber historically has struggled with is where you see that dollar sign. What they've really struggled with is how do we charge a price to riders where they are paying a price that they want? How do we make sure drivers are getting paid enough? And then how do we actually become profitable ourselves, right? To make all three of those parties happy, it was really tough. We spent about a year really researching this model and understanding why Uber was suddenly becoming profitable because driver margins were skyrocketing down and riders were paying sky-high fares. So I won't get too technical here, but we really saw that this business model that historically has been one of the most famous ones, there was something broken about it. We were paying $40. The national average for drivers was $10.17 at the time, right? And because that was so low, we really noticed that safety started to become kind of an afterthought. The cars became less nice because the driver pool became reduced. So anyways, we saw a huge problem here, and we kind of came up with an interesting concept, right? The concept, it started as, let's create Uber, where we won't take a cut. The company itself, us, we won't take a cut. We'll just make sure the riders and drivers are happy, right? Drivers can take home 100% of the margin, be making $25 to $35 an hour, and we can still undercut our competitors and have riders, us students, paying a lower fare. Right? So that's kind of what we rolled out. As any good entrepreneur does, we started with a really crappy MVP, a minimum viable product. We didn't even have an app. We spent 3 weeks and pulled up a little website, my co-founder and I, who I had met in the dining hall stir fry line at this point. And people, we kind of just rolled it out there. We invited 100 of our friends to just go and try this, right? And the concept was, right, it was only students. We figured, oh, recruiting exclusively students, it would be easy to recruit, it would be safer to recruit. They'd love it, it's flexible income, making 25 bucks an hour. We'll just see how this goes. And we literally just threw it out the door, really doing $0 in marketing. And after 12 nights of this website running, limited hours, we saw 500 kids at Notre Dame using this thing. So we were blown away that, wow, there's something about this business model, right? Even though the product is a piece of crap, for lack of a better word, people are still using it. They're still coming because they're paying lower fare, and the drivers are happy they're getting higher margin. So that kind of rolled into effect. We leveled up our MVP, right, to an app, to another app after that. We realized how hard local development is, but it was kind of cool to see that growth where we ended up at a point where about 15 to 20% of Notre Dame's campus was literally using our app to get around, to go to downtown. They were paying 10 bucks instead of 20. Drivers, we had one kid making literally thousands of dollars a weekend driving kids back and forth downtown. So it was pretty amazing to kind of see that. But we knew at some point we're gonna have to make money, right? How are we gonna make money if we're not taking a cut? That was the big question for us, right? So we had this great product, people were using it, wasn't exploding, we weren't making money. How do we explode? How do we make money? So that kicked into effect a whole cycle, which probably many of you did this week. We kicked off iteration, right? We spoke to users, we listened to them, we tested things, we A/B tested what didn't work, what worked, right? And one of the A/B tests that really started to be interesting, and a question we kept getting asked in user interviews was, as any good student would ask, right? Well, what were the most popular bars? Where were people going? What were the concerts I didn't see this weekend that people wrote to? What were the restaurants? Where is everybody trying new food, right? Where are people going? And we realized pretty quickly that's actually a question we could answer rather easily, right? We had all the data, we realized. We had the decisions people were making, where they were going, where they were spending their money, who was going where, when were they going to these commercial addresses. And what we quickly realized was, hey, there's something there, let's try that, right? Let's code it back into the app. And the thing that we tried was we took the top 4 rankings of the commercial addresses that students were writing to and literally populated it back onto the app. And what really blew us away was that students actually started to choose where they were writing to based on what those rankings were, right? So if we saw that this concert was at the top that nobody knew about, right, everybody started writing there miraculously. So it was this really interesting trend of how high-minded college kids are, but it was amazing to us that we could almost use our data to influence decision-making for students, right? So of course it took us 6 months to figure out how we might monetize that. But of course we had one bar who got no kids, one concert venue who got no kids, who was having an emo boy band concert that no student was going to go to. And they asked, well, what do you think? Can you get us more students? Like, can you show our address at a higher clip, maybe discount rides, send some notifications, like, can you use some stuff for us? We were like, yeah, we'll try, we'll see what happens. We ended up with a line of 600 kids outside of this emo boy band concert that nobody had known about. So it was really fascinating for us that we could almost use data in a really interesting way to influence decision, right? To bring business to a business that otherwise wouldn't get it, right? A lot of these businesses we know really don't know how to market to Gen Z. They don't know how to target Gen Z. And we did, right? We had a really interesting recipe of all these different touch points on a consumer. And that's really where we were able to capitalize and start to make money and monetize this thing, right? We had anywhere from restaurants, coffee shops, movie theaters, concert venues, bars, clubs, really paying us to drive students there, to bring awareness, influence them at what we call the critical moment, right? When you think about Instagram, that's where a lot of these places are spending their money, meta ads. And when you think about that, it's not a great touch point. It's one interaction, it's one view on a reel. What we realized was we had about 8 or 10 touch points on a kid, whether it's on our app, in the car, people talking about it at the venue itself. And what we really realized was, holy crow, we can even rope in places like brands. We got an inbound from literal Pepsi, right? Pepsi wanted to figure out how could they integrate their product into all of these consumer decisions about going to a concert or in the car, right? We could tell Pepsi, hey, you have a student going to a Coke restaurant, a Coke bar. Why don't you buy their ride? Why don't you sponsor their ride, right? Gen Z, we are in a habit-forming demographic right now, right? College students, if you use Pepsi or Coke in college, you're going to use it for the rest of your life. And we realized that was the real value of our platform. So we literally took this thing where we had no money going on, we had great usage, and overnight it went to about 40% of Notre Dame as we started to rope in these businesses. And now, all of these brand contracts that have kind of really turned and flipped around our entire business. So we ended up scaling to the point where we actually didn't have enough students to drive for us, where we had to look beyond that. So it's kind of this interesting model where we really started out as a student-exclusive Uber, and now we're dealing and kind of rolling up all these mom and pop third-party rideshare companies into our kind of umbrella. So it's been fun. We launched the University of Notre Dame, of course, over 2 years ago. To date, we're at about 40 to 50% of campus. We rolled out 2 months ago a little pilot to UVM, and we've actually got around like 400, 500 kids using it with zero marketing dollars spent. Philadelphia is a big one for us right now, and then this summer is really, all right, go, go, go. Let's see if we can scale this thing and get it right in other places. So it's been absolutely this crazy whirlwind. I just graduated from the University of Notre Dame a couple months ago, and this is my full-time job right now. We just raised our pre-seed, and we're ready to go. So, to all you out there, you guys are 10 steps ahead of where I was at this stage in the game, and I can't, it's been the absolute passion of my life. I'll be an entrepreneur forever building tech, and I wish I'd found it earlier. So you guys are so lucky. But anyways, it's kind of a cool journey with, I know the focus was building for college students or high school students, so excited to share. But yeah, I'm happy to take questions. I don't know what timeline is there, but yeah, happy to.
A couple of questions for Liam?
Sure, yeah. And no worries if not. I'll start.
You can also, or you can talk with Liam after us. We're having snacks after our event too.
That sounds great. Yeah, sure.
What do those brand sponsorships look like? Are they in the car or on the app?
It's everywhere. So what these brands really want right now is this thing called 360-degree marketing. So if you think about a reel, that's very one-dimensional, right? If you're on Instagram, you're getting a Pepsi paid sponsored ad. What we figured out is what we can pitch these brands is, hey, we can get our ambassadors to talk about it, say at a lunch table. We can get you in the app as well. We can get you to buy the ride. We can get you in the venue itself, right? So it's this really interesting, it's not just one touch point, it's all these things combined that they really find value out of. Cool. Good question. Yeah.
How big do you want to scale Yellow?
That's a good question. So it's funny, I was just talking to Nicole here about this, and one of the interesting things is when we started this, rideshare was one of these businesses that 1 million people have tried before. It's a red ocean, what they kind of call it, and that it's just so many people have tried and failed. And I think looking back at when we had started, if we had understanding that, we wouldn't have started this business, truly. But it's interesting now because Uber is taking more and more of that margin and charging more and more to riders that we're really at this kind of interesting inflection point where it's actually the perfect time to hit the market. And a lot of people are like, well, what about Waymo? What about Waymo? We love Waymo. The better Waymo does, the more pressure there is on Uber and Lyft to perform. So it's this really interesting dynamic where we thought, this will be college to college. And now we've had all these kind of inbounds, like Burlington, can we get there with regular people, right? Not students. So we're really convinced that a viral product like this doesn't really, you need to start in colleges where the social connection and physical connection is so tight. So our goal is to really capture those 20 million US college students, and then where do you go from there? And I think that's something we haven't answered yet, but it's kind of fun. We have all these roads we can go down. Yeah.
Without charging anything, how do you fund this?
So, not charging anything to the driver, you mean? Yeah, so we fund this by all the deals we do with venues, businesses, concerts, brands, all that kind of stuff, right? So we figured out that the margins within transportation are so tight that how can we make money elsewhere? So that was kind of this process we went down, really trying to figure out how can we monetize this through businesses, B2B2C as we kind of describe it. So the more consumers we have, the more riders we have, the more kind of exposure we can give to businesses, to brands, et cetera, and the more we can kind of charge to them. So if you think about Uber makes anywhere from 75 to 30% of a ride, and a ride might be $15. It's not that much money. What we really figured out is that if we can drive a student to a certain location that we want them to, we're making anywhere from $20 to about $30 based on the brands and the businesses together. Yeah.
Do you have any kind of client feedback function in your system there, where they might say that was a great concert, something like that?
Yeah, totally, right. So it's this interesting combination of you want to let students pick what they actually want to go to, right? Like you can't funnel someone where they don't want to go. And it's interesting because what we really figured out is this right balance of you want to kind of, show them what they think they might want, but also hear what they actually enjoy and what they actually want to keep going back to. So you're right, after each ride or each destination we go to, we send them literally, hey, rate your driver, also tell us how was this experience, right? It's not only about getting from point A to B, but also what is point B? Is that a place that they want to go to? Is it enjoyable? And that's a great point in that instead of like leave, comments for your driver like Uber would be, it's like leave comments about your destination, the business you went to. And the businesses love that too because they like to iterate on what they're doing, right? Was the artist relevant to students? Was it not? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, all the way at the back.
Hi, so how did you have to get startup tax to start your business? And how did you do that?
Yeah. So as some of you will find out, right, so we couldn't make money for a while. So we started kind of down this road of trying to figure out how we could subsidize this while we really figured it out. And the big roadblock we ran into was being student founders. That was a big one because we had another full-time job on our plates graduating from college. So we were lucky enough to really get connected in with an alumni from Notre Dame who really kind of believed in what we were doing. And I think more believed in us because we hadn't figured out the model yet. And he ended up kind of writing our first check to at least get us through school and to get things going. And then this last summer, as we started to really, go part-time from school, begin to take this on more full-time, we ended up raising a pre-seed a little bit north of $700K. So it was pretty amazing for us of like, we literally went from, scrapping by, bootstrapping a couple $1,000s here to now we can really pour fuel on the fire and try to light this thing up and scale it. So we just started paying ourselves a week ago, which has been nice. But I literally had zeros in my bank account for all 4 years of college. It was brutal, but at least we got some cash now. Yeah.
So you said that your students do most of the driving, and you want to expand to more other drivers in other markets. How do you plan on getting the word out to other people that take the drive for your app?
Yeah, it's a great question, and that's the number one thing that Uber struggles with. Their driver acquisition cost is about $300 per driver. Really expensive, right? So for us, what's worked well is recruiting the drivers, but now our demand is really exceeding our supply. So what we've had to kind of figure out is going after, there's a lot of these like third-party mom and pop, like local, maybe like 3 or 4 cars, like, driving around students. And what we really want to do is target who's the kingpin of those, who's kind of directing those, and then wrap them under our umbrella. So it wouldn't be anything you might know, but I know there's one in Vermont we're really after right now where it's like literally a fleet of like 4 cars. I think it's very small. But if we can get that fleet under our umbrella of those drivers driving students around, then that's 4 drivers that we didn't have yesterday. And you'd be amazed by how much one driver can do. Last year we had a kid make $17K over the course of the semester. So it was pretty amazing to us that, all right, if you get one driver roped in here, the flywheel can really start to spin. So, and I think that's one we're still answering. We don't have to full answer yet.
Thank you, Dan. Have more questions, but as the students know, the structure person in me gets nervous when we get too far off schedule. So thank you, Liam, so much. Thanks for sharing that. And it kind of is a wonderful way to get us started with where we're headed. Before we transition into our pitch contest, however, I would like to have my staff come up and introduce themselves. You know that I'm the program director and the faculty, but oh my goodness, what a staff we had. So if the RA staff would come up and introduce themselves, please.
Hi everyone, I'm Chase. I'm a rising junior at Bryant University. This is my 2nd year as an RA, and it's an absolute blast. I had fun with everyone. I think RA time was the best time. But I also own my own small business. It's called Chip Sunflower Seeds, and we're in 7 stores throughout the
Hi everyone, my name is Logan Vaughn. I was an RA, it's my first year doing it. I got a little bit of a taste of it last year, but it's my first full time doing it for the whole week. So it was amazing experience with all of you guys. I was an accounting major at UVM. I run my own business, storage moving company called Campus Storage Solutions. We're at UVM right now, but we're looking to expand. And yeah, it was a great week with all you guys.
I'm Rahma Alki. I'm a rising junior at Champlain College. I'm studying marketing and accounting, and it's been really exciting to be an RA here. I've never done anything like this, so it's been a privilege to see all these brilliant minds really work together. Hi, I'm Jamie Alessi. I just graduated UVM. I have a major in community entrepreneurship and a minor in environmental studies. I'm also interning with Rahma at VTSBDC, the Vermont Small Business Development Center. And I also own my own little small business. It's a crochet and clothing brand.
So as we broke into teams, each team was coached by one of our RA staff. So they had people who are actually running their own businesses and have strong business backgrounds guiding them in the development of the work that they were doing. Laura, would you introduce yourself, please?
Sure. If bad news here, I'm one of the older ones. Somebody said they were older. No, I probably am the oldest. Laurel Butler. I was one of the founders, you might say, with Tammy, of this particular program. And so about 10 years ago, I think. Yeah. So I stepped down 2 years ago as the director, because Tammy, honestly, even though she was considered the associate director, she was really co-directing with me and has been an amazing inspiration for this program. So I'm delighted to still be part of this. This to me is probably has been the highlight of some of the years that I've been working with Small Business Development Center and education and so forth. And another colleague here, Sarah Kearns, who's one of the judges. Thank you so much for having me today. And Elizabeth.
My name is Karen Hutchinson. I work for the state of Vermont at the Public Utility Commission, and I take the week off as a vacation to help my sister. And this morning, I almost put hand sanitizer in my coffee. So these kids are amazing. We had so much fun in the beginning. They came in, they were nervous and shy, and now they're friends, and they have relationships, and I can't wait for you all to see their presentations. They're amazing. If our judges would stand and introduce themselves, please.
Liam, I think we all just met.
Hey everyone, I'm Nicole. I'm the director of our venture platform at ESET. We're a local, you could say incubator. We advise Vermont entrepreneurs, and then we also have venture funds. So we invest about $15 million into early stage companies in Vermont and outside now.
Hi everyone, Sarah Kearns with the Vermont Small Business Development Center. Just excited to hear all of your amazing ideas and just have a good time. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jeremiah Greer. I work for the state of Vermont. I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Little 80s political humor after Karen's. I grew up in Cabot, Vermont, and I am an alum of the Governor's Institute of Vermont. And I am today a board member. And like I mentioned, I'm a certified public accountant, and in my day job, I am the chief financial officer of the Vermont State Treasury. And I'm so glad to be here with you today.
Well, like everybody else, I'm happy to be here. I'm from New York City. I've been in Vermont now about 40 years or so. And I was a corporate guy for Fortune 200 companies, an officer with worldwide responsibility in one. But I came to Vermont and bought a restaurant, the Gourmet Food Market. And don't do that. But this is what we developed. My partner, who was my wife at the time, developed to put that business together. And we spent, this is the marketing plan, this is the financial thing to go to the bank, guys like you. And we took it to the bank and we got a loan to run the business. I made a decision in 30 days to sell the business. And I did in 6 months after that because it was not the business for us. I like a second MBA, but I wish I had my money back. But I did executive search where I built an executive search business from scratch with worldwide involvement, and I was chosen as one of the top 100 headhunters in the world, operating out of Vermont. More recently, something that's social, which I'm taking up more time than they did, but we're working on something which is a startup called the Vermont Declaration of Inclusion, which 3 or 4 of us started about 4 years ago. And the idea of that is to make Vermont the most inclusive state in the country. We started with 0 towns adopting, and out of 247, we now have 163 towns. So that's kind of entrepreneurial. We made exactly $180, and that was for a speaking engagement. So
thank you to our judges. All right, I think without further ado, what do you think, Sky Scout?
How many teams are there?
There are 8 teams. Come on up, Sky Scout, our first to go. So they have a 5-minute pitch, and if each person wants to think of one question, maybe 5 questions total, so we can move through. Perfect, I don't, thank you. I'm good at that, Sarah, the structure person in me.
Alrighty, my name is Gaston,
My name is Kirsten.
My name is Sawyer.
My name is Willoughby.
and we are very excited to show you our product, the Sky Scout. Connection is always above you.
In 2023, in Vermont, there were 100 search and rescue operations. Our product, Sky Scout, works to help mitigate the risks of outdoor activities. Imagine you're hiking or skiing in the wild somewhere without internet access. If you get lost or hurt, you're not going to be found for a few days if you can't call for help. This is what our product works to solve.
Sky Scout is an ethical and portable solution to your Wi-Fi needs on the go. It is connected by a satellite in space, which gives connection all throughout Vermont. And you do not need cell service because it is in a satellite. My name is Willoughby Mikens. I live in Worcester, Vermont, which is a very rural town. And I was in charge of the marketing and media for Sky Scout.
My name is Gaston. I currently live in Burlington, Vermont, and I'm the mastermind behind this idea. And I'm the creative brain of the group.
My name is Kirsten. I'm from Eden, Vermont, and I'm the operations officer.
My name is Sawyer Lake. I'm from Heinsberg, Vermont, and I was in charge of the numbers and finance of our business.
Due to all of our experiences living in a rural place like Vermont, we know that connection to Wi-Fi can be a struggle because of the lower populations, the insubstantial investment from internet providers, and all the options on the market being so expensive.
Our target audience is people living in Vermont who like to be off-grid but also have concerns about their safety. We will be advertising on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all of the social media platforms, and also reaching out to outdoor influencers to see if they can feature our product in their videos. We will also be posting our own short videos showing how our product works. We may also have pop-ups at RV shows and outdoor gear expos to further expand our network and reach our target audience.
Our main competitor is Starlink because they are unstable and it is not portable. Starlink is also not community focused and is connected to space sites. You do not need cell service for Sky Scout like you would for a hotspot, and they have added solar panels for more off-the-grid possibilities. They're in it for money, we're in it for connection.
In our business, we have 3 revenue streams. The first one is our direct consumer sales of the hardware product on our website, and this retails for $500. Once we get the business up and running, we'll start to do wholesale. to stores such as REI, Outdoor Gear Exchange, and our wholesale price is $4.25. Just like any other internet service provider, there's a monthly service charge involved to stay connected to the network, and that will be $75 per month. All of our pricing is very competitive in the market that we're in, and like we mentioned before, Starlink had a revenue of $7.7 billion last year, which really shows the growth opportunities in this market. And with our projections, our revenue will be $630,000 in our first year.
We're currently seeking for $37,000, and it's going towards marketing, manufacturing, and expanding our inventory. We're also donating 1% to all the organizations on the screen, children's healthcare, family aid, and breast cancer. And those two, they kind of go together. Walking around Burlington, seeing people on the streets, I kind of want to clean up the area. So that's the reason for those two. For the breast cancer, my mom was recently diagnosed with breast cancer a couple months ago, and she recently got surgery and we're all good. So, and for every sale, we are donating a Sky Scout box to our community. So, go out for everybody. And connection is always above you, and from the founders of Sky Scout.
Thank you.
What does direct-to-consumer sales mean to you?
Direct-to-consumer sales means selling through our website and not through third-party stores. We wanted to start off like that because when we're ordering in small batches, such as below 500, it really increases the manufacturing cost, but once we can start ordering over 500, it really decreases that cost and gives us better margins for wholesale.
I love your slogan and the focus on connection. And you refer to marketing as a for the safety benefits of you're in a remote area, you get injured. Do you think that if this product went to market, that people might also be interested in it for reasons other than safety?
I really think so. I personally have experienced a lot of power outages where we can't access internet, and I always just think how helpful something like this would be, just so I can contact my friends or do normal things that teenagers should be able to do. So yes, hopefully once it's out there, it should be used in more ways than just safety.
Did you guys do any research into almost looking at, I think of rural Vermont and, community connections not direct at all, right? Any research into what if you signed a big contract with the government, right? Get into every house in Vermont, right there, that's a huge revenue stream. Any kind of research into that?
That's something that we considered, but we found it easier just to focus on sales to individuals because there wasn't a whole lot of information to give direct numbers on government contracts, so we just found it easier to stick with.
Maybe a simple question, but does it work in all kinds of weather? Do there any issues with rain or storms or winter with the connections?
One of the things that the money will go to is a software engineer to kind of manufacture it and see how it's going to work. So we do hope that it will survive in all kinds of weather because it's Vermont, so there are blizzards and sun and everything. So once we contact the software engineer, we should be able to figure that out.
Did you guys think about where you're going to manufacture these?
The manufacturing numbers that we were based on were from outside parties. We're not really looking to manufacture this ourselves, just because none of us are really very knowledgeable about how to make a product like this. So we're hoping to use some investment to outsource that sort of knowledge and experience.
Okay.
Thank you.
How's that?
Excuse me.
What is school yell?
So I'm going to ask you, I had told them that they were nervous about using the microphone, so I apologize if you can't hear, but they were nervous enough about their content that I said, don't worry too much, just speak nice and loudly. But people can't hear in the back, so if you're willing to step up, you don't have to hold it, but it'll make it a little bit louder. And judges, when you ask questions, if you would please use it as well. Okay. So our next group, next step, and who is in charge of this? Looking for okay.
Hi everyone, I'm Addie.
I'm Ambika.
I'm Noah. I'm Keelan.
Take the right step with next step.
Okay, imagine this. It's your first day of high school, you walk in, you don't know anyone, and you don't even know what to say to yourself. Like, how do you feel? You feel anxious, you feel stressed, and you really don't know what to do, because you also have no friends. So, last year, in 2024, a study said that 71% of students were actually struggling with different mental health issues. And all of these mental issues could include depression, anxiety, mental health, well-being issues, and to the point where you can even impact your own decision making. So what we decided as a team was to create a proper solution for this.
Our solution, Next Step. Next Step is a product, Next Step is a pocket-sized tool for emotional clarity, no apps, no noise, just calm, grounded support when you need it most. When the device is turned on, it gently welcomes you with a calming quote, creating a moment of pause before you enter the help menu. You're then presented with 3 well-being focus options: mood, decision, and to-do, each offering a focused path forward.
Along with this, we also took into consideration both social responsibility and also sustainability that includes environmental decisions, data privacy and security, along as ethical practice and labor.
I'm an action person. I like to get things done and get things started, get things done as quickly as I possibly can.
I'm a meeting person. I'm very purpose-driven and goal-oriented.
I am a structured person. I love being organized and having a plan to follow.
And I'm a people person, which means that I value working with others and making sure all voices are heard. And all of us individually represent each of the 4 corners, which means that our entrepreneurship styles balance each other out to create a perfect team.
Along with our main product, we have 3 different forms of revenue streams. Our first one is our subscription, where our customer can pay $10 a month to get mail-in services that includes both exercises, routines, and also a group chat that is private, and it will most likely be on WhatsApp. Our second one is donations, where our company will be donating 15% of our profits to different mental health organizations, along with our customers can help us choose and donate to all of those different companies. Finally, we have our bundle kit, where you can pay $30 for different small NMEs such as journals, pens, books, and all the other fun things.
So the size of our market is actually huge. TAM is our total addressable market. This is every single person that could benefit from this product. And SAM is probably the market that is realistically what we could actually achieve. SOM is the portion that we would realistically actually get to in the next 1 to 3 years. And we are different because this is an actual product. It keeps you off your phone and not distracted with social media, which can actually increase stress. And we do have a $10 million potential revenue. Yeah.
So our main marketing strategy is social media platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. And we plan to use real student customer reviews to really connect with our audience. We also plan on using posters and flyers to help broaden our market. And our key partners would be tech companies, schools and universities, mental health organizations, influencers, and hopefully all of future applicants.
Next step takes emotional check-ins easily. You can add it to your routine with this product. And we're asking $8,000 for 10% of our company and partnership. So we want to work together.
Together, help us take the next step into a brighter future for students' mental health.
Questions? Love your excitement.
Thank you.
Love your excitement. Just in terms of the total market, how did you come up with the 30s?
So our total, can you go back to that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the 250 million, 25 million, and 250K is actually represented people. So these are, the 250 million is the whole like world of people that are actually interested in this product. It's just like a summary, like all the people that are interested in actually buying products to help their mental health. The 250K is just the people that really want to go through with it and buy this type of electronic product.
And how did you do that?
Research. We just
Start research.
When you're answering questions, use the microphone.
Use the microphone, yeah.
Okay. Have you done any research or investigation? Are students willing to carry another physical device around?
Microphone.
I believe so. Our product, it's different from most of those mental well-being products out there. It's not on an app. It's kind of away from the digital world. And I think to a student who's really struggling, it can make a difference. I think it's worth it.
So there's so many different markets that you can tap into. What is the beachhead? Where do you want to go first? And how are you going to do that?
What markets do you have in mind?
Well, you said like high school, so first day of school for high schoolers, or you could sell them to universities and have the professors take care of it. Like, where do you want to sell first?
Yeah, so we're going to be mostly selling online. We're going to probably distribute them to psychologists and teachers, and parents are really interested in this for gifting it to their kids. Even friends would gift it to their other friends that they might be struggling with.
You might have mentioned this, but did you do any research into how much it might cost to produce a unit and what you might need to price that as? Be curious because I know students are very price sensitive, so any research there?
Yeah, so we did some calculations, and it should cost about anywhere from $20 to $30 to produce our product on a low scale. And we were pricing them at about $40 to $50.
If anything, we should be
Hi, good to meet you.
That's You just lost all your arm. Why did you? I said group. What are we yelling?
Hello everyone, we are Discovered Voices. I'm first in Cincinnati.
I'm Kelly Hill.
I'm Edward Scott.
My name is Esther Belecha, and I'll be sharing my story. So, imagine you're in second grade and you are introduced to a new classroom. And the only word you understood from the introduction is your name. Afterwards, you see a bunch of children sitting around a colorful, round, circular rug. So you decide to slowly sit down and join them. Suddenly, all the kids come near you and they join you. They began to share their favorite books and favorite stories and favorite games. And still no response from you. Suddenly, the rug that once felt so warm, filled with students, became cold. Often, our initial ways to connect with others is through words. In our schools, in our homes, and even in our third spaces, imagine you can connect with others.
To ensure students like ESSA don't face these challenges alone, we are launching a nonprofit program funded by schools and grants. We are putting trained professionals directly into schools to help students with language and presenting skills. The program will run 3 days a week after school, in addition to in-school presentations. We are exploring how to we collaborate with schools closely so that we can understand the different communities in schools and give each student mentors that can make an impact in their lives. With our unique curriculum, we will give students interactive ways to do crafts, to boost their confidence, self-esteem, and communicate with each other.
All right. We stand out by partnering deeply with teacher organizations, local districts, the VPA, and the AOE to tailor our program to each school's unique student population. Our skilled mentors work directly with students, developing English skills while honoring and reaffirming their cultural identities, never pushing assimilation. Our program is customizable, emotionally supported and sustainable, focusing on genuine connection and meaningful growth without waste.
Vermont schools and other English learning programs need Discover Voices to demonstrate how to let students express themselves through language in a way that doesn't feel forced and out of a book.
To fund this, we will focus primarily on getting grants from federal funding, which focuses on funding students, particularly ESL and ELL students. We will also reach out to local communities and businesses that help fund this. And we will also reach out to the Ben & Jerry's Foundation, which is meant to help organizations like ours. To market our company, we would use local radio ads to focus the more middle-aged demographic, as well as using local news segments, both on live TV and in papers. We also have a strong social media presence on platforms such as Facebook and Instagram, as well as having outreach initiatives such as presenting at schools and having tables at events. Finally, which something that will set us apart from other companies is that we will have bilingual newsletters, and by doing that, we will have part of it in the native language and part in the other half in English.
In addition to English language learners, our goal is to support any student who needs help developing their English skills while still honoring their identity. In the next 3 to 5 years, we plan to launch a for-profit branch offering our curriculum directly to teachers, families, and students. We also aim to establish permanent centers within schools to provide ongoing support, working closely with educators, school boards, and communities to bring this vision to life. Ultimately, this is more This is about more than language. It's about empowering every student to use and find their voice and know it truly matters.
Every day, countless great ideas go unspoken. Ideas that can change a life, a community, or even the world.
What brings value to our company is that we've all experienced this in one way or another, whether it's a close friend or a classmate, and it's something that we all truly believe in.
When we listen to, support, and uplift these voices, we create a future that's better for everyone.
To bring our vision to life, we will engage in networking, collaborate with organizations that share our commitment to develop socialness to help with emotional growth and educational excellence. We invite you in this journey to make this dream a reality for every student. Thank you.
Which one of you is the most excited about the business and why?
I'd say all of us are equally as excited since we all put a bunch of time into this. And again, like we said earlier, it's all something that we truly believe in.
Have you identified the first school where you would start to do a pilot?
Either Burlington or Winooski or some school like near Champlain, like near the lake, because there's a big population of students who need this type of support. So, and then from there we would like expand further. So that's our main focus for right now.
So, can you just explain why, starting a nonprofit is better than advocating for this within the school itself?
So we decided to have this opportunity as a nonprofit and not within the school. So this is an opportunity for them to have a new environment. So when they step into their environment, they can tell, they can feel as if this is not the same as school. We are accepted here, so we want them to enter into our space and know this is different. Yeah.
It's directly for them. It's not an extension of school. This is our time to help them develop the skills they need to succeed.
Yeah, here we go. Nah, there's no him. Want to do that? Yeah, here we go. You actually wanted me to?
Yeah, I was bro.
Bro, why are you trolling, bro? I was joking. I just had to.
Welcome to Zenlock Desk. Zenlock is a business that we created, and we really truly hope to work with you guys to create a plan and make the community of Vermont a better place for people struggling with a problem that we research.
We like to say that locked distractions are the key to unlocking your mind. I'm Charlie Isselhart, the Chief Logistics Officer.
I'm Ava Naylor, the Chief Marketing Officer.
I'm Keenan Fitzgerald, and I'm the Chief Financial Officer. Alright, on a show of hands, how many people have been distracted by their phone? Or not distracted, but how many people have been using your phone since you've walked in the building? How many times have you checked your phone? And how many times has it been from a notification, like a text, maybe Facebook, maybe other social medias? Okay, see, so that's where the problem is, and it doesn't just happen here. It happens in classrooms, and it also happens in homes. And this is our solution. So we figured out that studies show that 97% of students use their phones in school all the time. We also found that 99.9% of those students in the US struggle with mental health issues due to the usage of their phone, either from social media or like friends or something like that.
The reason for this is because we hold this social responsibility to connect to the digital world, which takes away from our real life experiences.
This is our
So 72% of high school teachers report that student phone use is a major problem in the classroom community. And then we have around 44% of teens feel anxious when separated from their devices. So that can interrupt learning time, educational, and here are some demographics for you guys to look at. We specifically looked at the leading causes of issues in Vermont to directly hone in on the issues that we're experiencing there.
This is our solution. The Zendesk contains resources for health and wellness in the included screen. The screen has breathing videos, wellness exercises, and just things that you can follow. It also includes a safe that locks your phone in for a set study time. The safe can be released with the emergency button on the teacher's desk or on the back of the desk if it's an at-home application. Also, it has an attachable reflexology tool underneath the desk, which is out of sight. I'll explain that in a second. So, reflexology is when pressure points are hit and they can relieve stress and anxiety. Our tool targets the LI4 pressure point, which is between your thumb and index finger. If you press it, you can feel it, and it just calms you down. Our tool uses this ball that rolls between your thumb and finger, and it's underneath the table, so it's out of view, so it's not a distraction for students or teachers. We would like to have our own personal website to market our desks. We would also like to do free trials in schools to let schools use our desks, see how they like them, and then also give us reviews and tell us what we can change or what we can do better. We would also like to send out mail to school main offices, secretaries, anybody really who's interested in our product, along with being partnered with Teacher List, which is a website where teachers can put in their postal code and the school that they work for, and they can see the resources and tools that they can buy for their school, along with doing in-school demonstrations where we bring desks in, show everyone how they work, and how it happens.
We have three different things that will bring in profit for us. We have the ZenLock desk itself. We have the attachable reflexology tool, just in case if you don't really need the desk and you just want it for the stress relief. And we also have a portable device by itself that still has the lock phone feature, just for portable use or homes. So if you don't need a desk. The ZenLock desk retail price is around $450. And it becomes. We gave it for bulk orders. We gave them sales to make a customer relationship with schools or communities that are that would afford or buy bulk orders for us. So we can explain that later if you guys want more information on that. But yeah.
Okay, so we are asking for $50,000 in a partnership with you guys. You will get 5% profit from our company, and 5% profit goes towards the Vermont Agency of Human Services, specifically the Department of Mental Health. And with your guys' partnership with us, we will be making $80,000 in revenue in the first year. So, judges, you may have noticed that we handed out pamphlets. This is a step-by-step guide for our MindReach app that Charlie had mentioned previously. It has mental health resources, research opportunities, and just ways to connect to help calm you in a sense when you're doing your work either on a phone or attached to the ZenLock desk. We also gave you guys
business cards, and we would love to connect with you guys to further discuss any details or any questions you may have, so you can contact us through there.
All right, so I think when you shook my hand, I had one phone in my lap and one phone in my pocket, but I'm not distracted at all. So there are a lot of apps. I mean, some for free, some that you can get a subscription for, some for your phone, some for your computer, that block notifications or distracting websites. Or Apple has like the downtime feature where your phone will shut off at a certain point in the day. What is the competitive advantage, especially when you consider that most of those products are either free or very low cost? What is the reason why someone would go with this product as opposed to some of those more like low cost options?
So I think for a lot of people, it's not even a lot of the notification or calls or anything. It's just having your phone on you. Like I would say doing homework or anything else, you'll get a notification or just feel your phone in your pocket. You'll pull it out to do something and then you'll just get distracted, start scrolling, whatever, and then just end up not getting any work done at all. So I think the safe puts the phone away, you don't think about it, and you get all your work done.
All right, I have a follow-up question. So on the safe piece, and again, kind of a real life example, I mean, with me, like I'll put my phone away, and then one of the things that draws me back is that I have, legitimate or actually important things to do on my phone. My kids will call me, or my wife will call me, or someone that is actually, something more important than a cat video, will come across my phone, and then I get, then I get sucked back in. And I'm thinking about, both that situation, and then also, if there's an actual emergency. I'm wondering if people who buy your product might be considering, well, what if I lock my phone away and then actually I need it for something, real?
Yeah, so the emergency release button on the back of the safe, you can, hear the notifications or whatever, and then release it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, maybe if you could, and thanks for the business card, I love it. But maybe if you could touch a little bit more on where you see the true revenue opportunity being. Do you see this as being sold to a fleet, like in a school? Is it individually to a person? Is it in individual pieces of the desk, or is it all one compartment? Maybe if you could just talk through that, that'd be helpful.
So the way we will be selling it is it's mostly targeted towards the school boards or just big like the schools in general, like school districts. We do see it being a personal option, a personal bought thing for homes, but that's on rare occasions. But the way we have it is just we have these orders that are just if they buy bulk orders, like we said, for the customer relationships, they will give discounts to the schools. And to add on, it's just it's a way to how do I explain it? It's mostly designed for schools. That's where our main revenue stream is going to be, is from the schools itself.
So I also feel by having the detachable, the reflexology tool, and having the portable app function just without the desk, I think that's really helpful for people who want to do it and use the product just at their homes or not in the classroom. So I think, that's what kind of sets it up.
Could you mind just flipping back a couple of slides where you talked about how you're sharing the go back. Yeah. Go back. Going back to where you talked about sharing the profits or
with the
yeah. Well, forget it. I guess I'll get to where I wanted to be, which is you were talking about 5% of something of profits that constituted ownership. Maybe I didn't understand that. And I was wondering whether you distinguish between profits and sales, because it just struck me you should be talking about sales as opposed to profits.
Yeah, so with our projected cash flow, we took out 5% from all profits, not just sales. We just did it after the fact to just profit. It was simple.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Thank you.
What's that?
All set.
Am I giving you enough time, judges, to speak? Okay. I just thought about that. The structure person in me, so the judges may say, no. All right. You must all be structured people too. That's good.
Bro, what is going on with the soda? Stop playing
Hi everybody, I'm so excited to be here today and show you guys our idea. Me and my guys, this is why they don't like Gen Z. So many students are glued to their phones nowadays, and we knew we needed a solution to this.
I'm Alejandro.
I'm Alex.
And I'm Peter. And our solution to this problem is called Get Lost. So, Get Lost is a summer-long scavenger hunt challenge that you can do with friends, family, and partners. This challenge asks you to travel around Vermont to different locations and collect badges from local businesses.
However, it's not just about the badges. From those activities and challenges, teens will form real connections and create lasting memories with their friends and family, all while being unplugged from their screens and reconnected with our beautiful state of Vermont.
When participants pay our $10 entry fee, they are given this t-shirt with a really wide open spot on the back. So when they complete different activities around the state, like the free Ben and Jerry's tour, Church Street, Berry Rock Quarry, or even going to the Capitol, they receive a badge that they can iron onto their back, and it's just a cool memorabilia. That's also a big part of our marketing. You see people walking around, and you're like, I want that kind of thing.
Along with that, we have created a website. So, on this website, you can scroll down a little. We have created an interactive map around Vermont, so it's easier for our participants to click one of the pinpoints and get directions to that place. And if you keep scrolling down, there's some pictures of participants too. And all the way at the bottom, you can sign up online too, making it easier for both the customer and us.
I'm Leslie, I'm the operations manager, and I'd say I have about 8 hours of screen time during the day.
My name is Peter, I'm a visual and digital designer, and I'd say that I have about 9 hours of screen time.
My name is Alex, I'm the financial manager, and during the summer I have anywhere upwards of about 5 or 6 hours on my phone.
I'm Alejandro, I'm the marketing manager, and my screen time is about 6 or 7 hours.
So, as many of the groups have mentioned, screen time is a big issue. About 70% of students in Vermont are addicted to their phones. So, our solution is to get students out into the real world, make connections with others, and just have a good time and not be at your house on your phone doing nothing.
So how are we different? Well, unlike a summer camp or summer school, we're here to have fun, enjoy time with our families and friends, and overall just get to know Vermont more.
And unlike other forms of connections like social media, where teens are connecting online and through their phones, our activities offer a way for teens to connect in real life while being active through activities like hiking camel swamp.
We have two main revenue streams, and the first is the entry fee revenue. So we operate during the 3 summer months, June, July, and August, and we estimate that July will be our highest number of participants because schools are out for the entirety of that month, unlike in August or June. Our second form of revenue is sponsorships of the small businesses or the big businesses located in Vermont that we put on our interactive map or that we promote on our Instagram. And we'll estimate that in those 3 months, our total revenue will be $26,000.
So, we're asking for $15,000 in equity. This will help us with market production, And also we're asking for you guys to help connect us with local businesses in Vermont to try to get the word out. So, who's ready to get lost with us this summer?
While we're looking for the microphone, are you going to have any revenue from the selling of the patches? I wasn't sure if that was part of your revenue model.
No, so the patches are found at different destinations. So if you go to a destination, you can do a puzzle or some kind of mission, and you upload a photo of it onto our website, and you get a patch from the company that you can iron onto the back of the spreadsheet.
How are you going to market this? What's your market strategy?
So just like I said with the hoodie is a big part of it, just seeing people walking around with it, you're thinking, oh, that would be pretty cool. So a bunch of it is word of mouth, but it's definitely also, we would promote it to the high school, middle, and college students on Instagram or TikTok. And then for maybe mothers or family members, we would promote that on Facebook for something to do with their children.
I love the problem you're solving. Great problem. I'm curious, you limit your business model to the 3 months of summer. Have you thought at all about, okay, beyond that, what does this look like? Is there opportunities? Just curious if you've thought that through at all.
Yeah, so we really just wanted to focus on the summer months when kids are out of school and they don't really have much to do. But we definitely think that we could further extend this out to all the months. And, when tourists come for skiing season, it could be a big opportunity for revenue to come in. And, yeah.
This seems like a really fun thing to do once there were it seems like a really fun thing to do maybe with yourself or with your family, but it seems like there is a lot of additional value once a whole bunch of other people are doing it, and there's sort of a network and other people that you can run into. Have you thought in sort of your marketing plan in a way that you could launch this in a way where you're building up sort of a critical mass of people and then you do the launch?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. So we were thinking on the app or website that we make, we can connect different people. So it's like maybe some friends want to meet up with some other friends to do this together. And then, that's kind of what we're thinking.
I saw it in the browser.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. It's 2 bucks. I think
Are the batteries the right way? Is it working? Are the batteries the right way? No, it's not working.
Not about it, 2 bucks.
Hi guys, hope everyone's doing well today. We created our company Dorm Drop and we're here to share it with you today. My name is Mason Bodo, and I'm our marketing specialist.
My name is Kelsey Adams, and I'm going to be the sales rep.
My name is Jackson Verder. I'll be in charge of finances. And my name is Aspar. I'm the manager of college relations.
So the problem that Dorm Drop aims to address is that every single year, when college students move out every single semester, they're leaving stuff behind. And they're leaving it on the streets, and the colleges and universities and communities are having to deal with it by basically paying trash trucks to come and pick them up. And this is just really expensive and time consuming. And in the fall, students are still spending a lot of money to come and refurnish the dorms.
And because of this problem, we invented Dorm Drop. And it's a service that aims to help college students move into their dorms in a more sustainable, efficient, and affordable way. And it's kind of a 3-step process here. So the first step is to reclaim items. So our goal is to come in at the end of semesters in the spring and to collect all the items that college students are leaving, whether it's outside their dorms, on the streets. We're gonna come in, we're gonna collect them. Over the summer, we're gonna refresh them, refurbish them, clean them, and then we're gonna hope to sell them on our website or at pop-up shops for an affordable price as they are being reused and recycled for incoming students to purchase and start their year strong.
Today, we have over 19 million students going to college every single year, and every single one of them needs dorm supplies. Okay? Over $10 billion are spent on these dorm supplies, which is a huge market potential. Not to mention that over 100 million pounds of these dorm supplies are getting shipped off and brought to landfills where they're wasted. This is wasteful, it's not affordable, and students are just tired of it, and that's why we created Dorm Drop.
So yeah, we actually have a couple ways to bring in revenue here. So obviously through the resale, where we're providing these items that are very needed for college students. And kind of the process also involves like delivery. Sometimes it might be more convenient for students to pay us to deliver it right up to their dorms. And we might offer some other like special packages where you get a microwave and a rug all in one package or something. And another significant source of revenue is from the colleges directly. Right now, they're paying a lot to these providers to clear out all the junk that's left behind, and we're gonna take it and turn it into something valuable.
All right, so on this chart, Dorm Drop is compared against marketplace and retail stores. So for retail stores, the demographic is very broad. So it's very hard to like focus the demographic on college students. And for marketplaces, not all items are guaranteed to be clean. And it's also limited delivery options. And for Dorm Drop, all the concepts we're gonna focus on is that we're gonna focus on cleared and stored, have the delivery options and price.
At Dorm Drop, sustainability is something that we value very much, and it's a big part of our mission to limit waste that goes to landfills and make it more affordable for students to get into college. Not to mention that at the end of each season, whatever we do not sell, we are donating to families in needs so that we don't have to pay for storage in the off-season.
Thank you guys for listening. We are seeking $15,000 to do a pilot startup this coming winter after the first semester, as there are a small amount of people who do graduate to test our company. Thank you.
And there's no doubt, as I remember my undergraduate days, that there's a need for this business, regardless of the level of research that you did. But it's going to require a large workforce. How do you go about recruiting?
Sure, yeah. So in the small pilot program, it probably realistically would be something like just the founders. And we're just gonna start small with something that we can accomplish ourselves to make sure that we can turn the items over. And then, yeah, it would probably be going into the student community, looking for people that want this type of work. Maybe they don't want a full-time job throughout the whole year, so it's actually kind of perfect that they can just work this like last bit before they go off for the semester.
Also, to add on to that, another really cool thing with this idea is that schools would be working with us. They don't want the problem of trash and items being left outside. So one thing we were talking about as well is maybe working with pricing a lot lower for them. They're already paying, I think it's around $40,000 a year to get people in there right now. And what they do is they come in, they get all the items and they put them straight in the landfill. So we're thinking we could probably charge about 50% of that, and maybe in exchange they give us a few volunteers to help us clean all the items out and get them to our warehouse.
Also, as we get more established, to minimize the labor that needs to go into it, we can work with the schools, get the word out, and have more a designated drop-off area. And that just minimizes the work during the busy move-out season.
Thank you.
I'm sure your RA Logan had a lot to say about your business idea, so that's great, and it certainly is a problem. So you are picking stuff up and then hopefully reusing it. Where would you be storing the items before they're ready to be picked up by the next students, and do you know what that would cost?
So yeah, we're looking to rent a space. That could be a couple $1,000s a month, depending. I feel like it's going to grow with us. So we'd start with a smaller space. And really to minimize that cost, we hope to find ourselves in a situation where we can get out after September. So we're not paying all year round. And I think in Vermont, those types of spaces are more common than you'd think, because there's lots of stuff that we have outside in the summer needs to be winterized and put away. So the summer, those spaces are wide open.
Have you done any research into almost partnering directly with the movers, right? Like what if Logan gets a cut, right, for referring you items? I'm just curious if you've done any kind of investigation into that.
So right now, what people do, the people that they do hire for this, don't necessarily move it with care or anything like that. They're throwing it into trash bins and putting it in garbage bins, and they're taking it out of here. They don't have respect for that. If Logan would like to partner with us, I feel like that'd be a great option. We'd love to have him on the team, and we're definitely looking forward to giving him a cut. But that's after we've grown the business and we understand what the demand is, so we can better base us off of that.
Also, Logan kind of works with the proactive students that get a service like this to store their items, and their returning students. And we kind of deal with the stuff that people are just leaving behind, and we can really recoup all the value from those items versus the stuff that people still own.
So it seems like the business model is mainly the problem of you move into the dorm, you need new stuff, and then you leave the dorm and you're getting rid of stuff. A related problem I think that some college students experience is they want to keep their stuff, but perhaps they go to school or perhaps they live far from home, and so the year is out and then they've got stuff that they want to keep for next year, and they don't have an easy way to get it home and get it back to them. Is part of your business model that you could store items that students actually wanted to keep for themselves and have delivered next year?
That's Logan's job. So that's why Logan over here has his business. We're really targeting graduating students or transfers. With our resale purpose, we're targeting transfers, freshmen. And with our storing purpose, it's really graduating students. I think holding students' items might compromise our warehouse space. Like we said, we're looking at a smaller area, probably around $3,000 a month. And we're only looking at it for about 3 months, maybe an extra month if we do a little pilot startup. So no, that's why we'd love to work with Logan. We're really focusing on the graduating population.
We did bugs.
You got it out there.
Hi, I'm Ian.
I'm Jonas.
And I'm Damari. Myself, I'm so sick and tired of going school shopping every year. And I'm sick and tired of my parents telling me, let's go school shopping. We go to the store and we're looking at the shelves and there's no supplies. I look around, there's nothing. We get what we can scavenge and we go to the checkout. And the checkout is so overpriced, paying too much for so little. So we created the multi-bag.
Last year, going into my junior year, about a week before school started, I went to my local CVS to get some school supplies. However, when I went to this school supply section, there was almost nothing left. I was very stressed out. Like, what am I going to do? Am I going to have to go travel to a different store? Am I going to have to order online? What am I going to do? Luckily, I was able to find enough stuff for school that year, but it was also very stressful. And then when I went to the checkout, as a broke high schooler, I was absolutely shocked by how much it costs just to get the bare minimum for school. So this is why we created the multi-bag.
Multi-bag is a bag that has 1 semester's worth of school supplies, listing with folders, binders, pencils, pens, all you need, everything you need for 1 month, 1 semester of school. It also comes with an eco-friendly bamboo water bottle that's also offered with the backpack.
So our target audience is going to be the middle school, high school, and college students, as well as the parents who are buying it. We also do want to put these into college bookstores for the college students that can't, or that are out of state and don't have enough storage to bring it with them, so they can easily just pick it up.
We're also donating 10 of our backpacks to Spectrum for the youth and family services. And we're also, like I stated before, going to be offering the bamboo water bottle that has replaceable lids, such as a straw lid or a flat lid that you can screw on.
We also want to use other Vermont businesses, so we are using Dun & Bradstreet Paper Mill as our paper for the multi-bag. And for the first purchase, you will get 1 month of Quiz Premium. And you also get a Rocket Book that can be added to your purchase. That will be extra. It is a reusable notebook that you can transfer your notes. You can write on your notes and then transfer it onto a device and then erase it. So it's very eco-friendly.
The key partner for our multi-bag is Vermont Small Business Development Center, so FedEx, Amazon, Elegance, Staples, and Spectrum.
Yeah, so the pricing, so we're gonna price that at $200 as it does take $160 to make. We did want to put this at a lower cost, as low as possible, because we do want to have it affordable for everyone, as everyone should deserve to have the bare minimum for school supplies.
And with an additional purchase, if you purchase it before the first semester starts, you get a 20% discount on your first purchase. And also, if you wanted to continue getting the school supplies that come with the bag, you can also start a subscription, which is $10 a month. Say you wanted to get extra pencils or pens, you can get a subscription that will give you those for a cheaper price if you subscribe.
And I'm Ian, and I'm the CFO.
I'm Damari, and I'm the CMO.
I'm Janice, and I'm consisting to sell and deliver our multi backlog, and this is Priyanka. Actually, she got a little bit early, but she is the CFO.
So what we are asking is for you guys to help us reach out to other businesses and help us put our name, company, our bag into these other businesses. We want to reach out to LOB and Staples to start our business, and we're also promoting them. We're also asking if you guys can help us get lower prices to each of these services so we don't have to spend as much on our supplies. So we can also make more profit without spending as much.
We were also asking for $5,000 as we do want to build a website and make ads we can add into the stores.
Thank you. Do I customize the bag?
Oh yeah, sorry, forgot to state that, but the bag is customizable, so you can have different colors to the bag. Instead of just having a plain black backpack, you can have like a blue, yellow, all to fit what color you would like.
And what exactly is in the bag, other than I understand you can add a Rocket Book in the water bottle, but what exact school supplies are in it?
So you're gonna have folders. You're gonna have one folder, one binder, one notebook, a composition notebook, and a ring notebook that you can also get pens and pencils. So we're gonna start it out with a 32 pack of pencils and a 12 pack of pens.
And then you can also customize it, the amount, so you can add or take away to what you want.
Thank you.
Maybe just explain, but how do you market this in the first place? This is a big deal, and then you talked about your partners. Those are big, recognizable companies with great distribution systems and marketing, et cetera, but you got to make contact with them, and you're one of any number of vendors that are probably coming to. How do you get visibility?
Yeah, so that's one of the asking for you guys, but yeah, so we're gonna try to reach out to
Us?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so we're gonna try to reach out to them so we can both work with each other, and so we can help promote theirs as well as they promote ours as well.
And we're also gonna have a website where you can purchase all this. So they'll give you a list on what's also gonna be in the bag. You can customize that. That's what's gonna be.
Okay, thank you.
Will you guys be assembling these backpacks?
Yes, until we get more profit to the point where we can hire other people to do this and get a manufacturing company, we're gonna be doing this ourselves. That's why we asked if we can get as much help as getting these materials for cheaper and to get these for cheaper.
So
More
your
affordable price, sorry.
Yeah, so your strategy to scale would be eventually get your own manufacturing facility?
Yes, and have our own labels on these materials instead of continuously having LLB on our backpack. We can have our company logo, and for these pencils, that everything that's usually labeled for like staples and everything, we're gonna have our logo on it.
Thank you.
Yeah, just super quick, how did you kind of get to that 160 price point? Is that with you assembling, and maybe how did you get to that number?
So what we did is that we did some research on like the average on each of these materials, and that's how we got 160. And eventually we don't have like the discount if we reached out to them, so we could market them, like have their logo and everything. So if we did reach out and purchase these bags, they would possibly get it for cheaper, but with the research of just looking at it, we got 160.
You guys just met, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you figure out who was going to do what? You just say, well, I'd like to do marketing, I'd like to do finance. How did you figure out each other's strengths and preferences and all that?
While we were doing the research, we figured out who was able to get the information better and how it worked better for them.
So what we kind of worked on to kind of like made us have more information about one topic than the other.
And I also find that it was so easy, like, for my parents to get blind because they don't speak enough English to went to the market and try to find like how this color pencil or eraser, everything like that. So yeah, I think that would be good for my parents or other immigrants.
If I buy a bag and then I use most of the stuff in it, but the bag is still good, can I get a refill?
Yes, so are you asking you can get more supplies?
Yeah.
Yes, that's what this can be with the subscription. Also, you can buy more of the supplies on our website. They'll be listed there.
I think we're on our last team. Are we on our last team?
Alright, hi everyone, I'm Gabe. I'm Camden.
And I'm Willa.
And we are school students. Picture this. It's exam week, you're back in high school. You're back in high school, studying, just working hard, you're really stressed out. But then all of a sudden you hit a roadblock. You have no idea what to do next. You're just confused on where to go. You're running out of supplies. And you don't know where to go next. We decided to try to fix that with our product, School Fuel. It creates kits that are pre-filled with school supplies, rest balls, anything to help you get along, and just get through your day and finish your work that you need to do.
So we identified a few problems as a team that students are faced with. One is poor mental health, and then we have lack of time and lack of confidence. And over 60% of college students have poor mental health, and lack of time and lack of confidence within their schedule and in themselves can really play a big role in their mental health.
All right, solutions. What our product is mainly going to do is eliminate stress, increase study time, and increase self-care. We really want to give our students a purpose when they're going for a big test or a big exam. We want them to feel comfortable, and our product will give them that comfortability. That's why we created School Fuel. School Fuel consists of 4 school supply kits: study kit, resupply kit, self-care kit, and a transition kit. The 2 main kits we will start off by selling are the study kit and the transition kit. The study kit will obviously help you with your exams and big tests. It'll consist of stress balls, flashcards, motivational letters, highlighters, and anything else you'll need. The transition kit is going to get you ready for the big jump from middle school to high school to college, and it's going to give you that comfortability. And both of these you'll be able to know what you want on our survey on our website, so we know what kind of student you are.
A few key marketing strategies we'll be using is the digital market. We'll be using Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. TikTok and Instagram will mainly be targeted towards our younger consumers, and then Facebook towards our older consumers, such as grandparents or parents that want to gift their grandchildren or children something easy and convenient. And then our key partners are also a big part of our market, like teachers, schools, students, and potentially even influencers that could do something like an unboxing video to advertise our product. And then lastly, we would hang up posters around college campuses, high schools, and middle schools. And I know a lot of people in GIV found out about this because of posters, so we want to kind of advertise in the same type of way. And then next, some of our big competitors are big corporate businesses like Staples and Amazon. And the reason our consumers may want to buy our product is because of how easy and convenient our product is. And I know that families spend over $800 a year on school supplies, and about 40% of that gets wasted. So our product has about the right amount of materials in the box, and so a lot of products will not get wasted, and it's a more affordable option than going to the store and picking everything out individually.
All right, revenue streams. Our main revenue streams are subscriptions, one-time purchases, partnerships, and sponsorships. The main one that we really want to focus on is partnerships with schools. We really want to get our posters in the school classrooms, college campuses, and that's how we got here at GIV today. We want to do a similar strategy.
What we're asking from you, we're asking for $10,000 to help us get started with creating our website and purchasing our first round of products. We are each putting up $2,000 each to fund the startup, like to get all the licenses and like make sure all of our accounting is okay and that we're allowed to do this, like with a lawyer. And we predict that we were able to pay off the $10,000 loan within the first 3 years. We also wish to sit down with you and try to get connections to wholesale suppliers and other like companies that might help us keep the cost down and get the highest like quality items. That's it.
I'm sorry if I missed it. Did you mention a price point for the different kits?
Yes.
Can you say it again?
The study kit will be $25 and the transition kit will be $60. Those are the two main we're going to be selling first.
Okay, thank you.
I was just thinking about a couple of the other businesses that have spoken today. I just wondered whether you saw yourself in competition with any one of the other presenters today.
Yes, the one that just went, the multi-bag, is our competition.
What would be your strategy in competing against them? They're also the throwaway guys too. But you could do a co-op.
I think the reason that some people might pick ours over the competition could be our more like ethically sourced. Like we're coming straight like in like America. We're only producing like we're researching all of where our companies and products come from to make sure everything's ethically sourced. We're trying to keep our costs down but our quality up by like ensuring tests of all the products to make sure nothing is lower quality. And that's pretty much it.
So, they just met each other 6 days ago. What do you think? To confer, so Karen's going to take you to our conferring space, and we will hear from them in just a moment, as to who our winning team is.
Matters, and so everybody, great job, great companies, great ideas. It was actually really hard to pick one, but the winner for today is Next Step. Congratulations. Yes. All right. Let me talk about why. So next step. One thing we all really noticed was you told your problem in a great way. You used storytelling to tell that problem, which is relevant for all of us, right? It's one thing to just read stats off of a page, which is important. You got numbers behind your back, which you did, but you told a great story that was relevant for all of us. So that was one point we really took away. Another was you did a great job of TAM, SAM, SOM, right? Your market size. You did a great job of looking at those numbers. We even asked you how did you get those numbers. You had an answer. You adapted. So yeah, that was great. Any other takeaways we had? Winners. All right, those were the two big reasons. So congrats.
Awesome.
So, round of applause for the judges, please. Round of applause for the judges. All right, for the winning team, come on down. Winning team, come on down. Who was your coach? Jamie.
All right, Jamie, come on down. So I'm going to give them their book. You're going to give them their other book, and then we'll have a photo op. All right, so here's your book. You're going to hold it, you're going to have a photo op. Okay. Jamie.
Okay, photo op. Hold your book up. What can you do with an idea? You just found out what you can do with an idea.
Yay, you got guys.
Yeah.